Hi, I'm Darren, and welcome to New Factory Classics. Today we're going to discuss The Tree That Saved Christmas, an Up original movie available on Peacock. Now, when Molly and Lucas were young, they used to explore the forest right next to her parents' Christmas tree farm. And one day they came across a tree that was dying, and in order to save the tree, Molly did the most normal thing that anyone would do and started playing the guitar for it, because trees need to hear a guitar in order to start growing quicker. Lucas himself was a photographer, and he loved to take pictures of her. And when they explored, and he just everything he wanted to do was to be a photographer and not to be a banker like his father. Now, Molly's parents are wanting to double the size of their farm, so they put their farm up as collateral in order to get enough money to buy a farm lot next to them to have 800 acres. Um, Molly gets upset when her dad is clearing the new area that he purchased, getting rid of the old dead trees so he can start growing Christmas trees. She doesn't like the fact that he is killing trees to make room for new trees. She wants all trees to survive. Not really sure how she knows how her parents make money. They make money by chopping down trees and selling them to people. But either way, she definitely wanted to protect her tree that she used to play the guitar for. Now, 20 years later, Molly has grown up and moved to the big city. She wants to be a writer. Unfortunately, she is hired at a big book selling company, but she only is able to become an assistant to her boss. The man on the left of the picture right there. He's all about business. In fact, he can't even take care of his own kids. So even though Molly wants to be a writer, she really is mostly just a babysitter for this man. She has to buy their Christmas gifts. She has to cook for them. He is just too busy to actually take care of his kids. And their mother passed away a few years earlier. So really, they need a mother figure, and that is her. Now, her boss is about to leave on a vacation to go to the Bahamas for Christmas. He is going to take the girls with him to the Bahamas, but she needs to stay back because he's got a big deal that's about to close. So Molly can't go to her parents' farm in Vermont because she has to make sure that the deal closes. So she is really sad, but she does not want to lose her job. Now, Ryan, Molly's brother, calls her and lets her know that some devastating news. Her parents have not been selling enough trees for the last few years, and they're about to lose their farm. The loan is being recalled by the bank, and the bank actually wants to knock down the farm, put a hotel there, put some golf courses there, and basically they just want to make the town a resort town because the town's been falling apart. They have no one's been visiting. A lot of the stores on Main Street are closing. So they want to knock down the farm and set up a resort so people can go skiing there in the winter, play golf in the summer, and overall just get rid of this Christmas tree farm and start making money. Now, Molly unfortunately can't go to Vermont because she is handling her boss's business. In fact, one day she's actually watching the boss's house and helping them decorate for the boss's family. Despite the fact that they're going to be gone all the way through Christmas and New Year's, he's still paying a company thousands of dollars to decorate his house for Christmas. I don't know, when they come back on January 2nd, they can see a tree with a bunch of lights that would have been there if they hadn't been in the Bahamas. Molly inspects the tree that is delivered, and it actually has her parents' little tag on it. It had come from their farm, and then she inspects it, and it's actually the tree that she used to play the guitar for. She can recognize the tree because she saw the specific cuts, and it did grow up to be big, so theoretically it proved her point that if you play a guitar for a tree, it will grow to be big. She, though, sees it as a sign that she needs to go back and help her parents find a way to make some money so their house and their farm won't be repossessed by the bank. So she undecorates the tree that her boss spent all this money on, grabs the tree, takes it out of his apartment, ties it to the top of her car, and drives from New York to Vermont with the tree that she had been playing the guitar for when she was younger. When she arrives at her parents' farm, it looks like they haven't aged a day. It's probably because they filmed the scene with the little girl about one day earlier. It looked like they were two 70-year-olds with a 10-year-old kid, but now they're two 70-year-olds with a 30-year-old daughter, so it looks a little bit more normal. Ryan also returned her brother, and their plan is to find a way to make some money so they can pay off this loan and her parents can keep the farm, keep their house, and not have to be forced to retire. So what do they do first? Well, they walk around their farm and reminisce because the best way to start selling some trees and make money is just to go take a walk and not actually sell some trees and make money. Um, Molly and her brother eventually go out to dinner. And while they're there, they run into Lucas, the man on the right of the picture, which is her former boyfriend and the boy who used to take pictures with her when they would hike when they were kids. Now, Lucas now works for the bank that's repossessing her parents' house. Unfortunately, she's trying to hide from him because when she left for the big city, Luke didn't want to leave for the big city. He wanted to stay back and be with his family. So they ended up breaking up after high school. She left to go to the big city, and he became a banker and is now about to repossess her parents' house. Lucas shows up the next morning and is showing a group of people that are interested in investing in this hotel and golf course. He starts showing them around her farm. She gets infuriated and runs out of the house to start yelling at him. He gets caught off guard because he hasn't seen her in about 10 years, but instantly falls in love with her. He can't even focus on the people that he's taking around. He just wants to get back with her, and unfortunately she's not feeling it because he's trying to repossess her parents' house. Ryan eventually comes up with a plan on how to at least save their house for a certain amount of time. Ryan's plan is to, because their house is over 200 years old, to get it designated as a historical landmark. It won't bring in any more money, but it'll prevent it from being knocked down. Luca's dad hears about the plan, and he is pissed off. He is the most mean businessman you've ever seen in a holiday movie. He will give speeches throughout the movie about how much he hates this Christmas tree farm and how people don't know what's good for them, and a hotel and a golf course is what this town needs, not a dang Christmas tree farm. He says some really offensive things, like you would think he was talking about a terrorist cell or some sort of drug den, but it's really just a house, a wooden house that's 200 years old, and they're trying to sell trees around it. Ryan and Molly make a presentation to the town council on why they should be listed as a historical landmark. Her presentation is to take everyone outside and put candles in bags and show everyone what the town used to be when it was still flourishing and with lights and Christmas. Because now that the town hasn't been making money, Main Street is dark at night, nobody's coming to visit the town, and the town is falling apart. Hence why the bank is trying to buy and make a resort and bring 400 jobs in and really revitalize the town. But that means that Molly's family would lose their house, so they're not going to give up without a fight. Lucas comes up and compliments Molly's presentation. He says it's unfortunate because his father's still going to take her farm, but he loves her and he wishes that things could be better. He asked her if she wants to dance because their old song plays, but unfortunately, after he had just told her that he is going to repossess her house, she's not really into dancing for some reason. They proceed to have an argument on who broke up with who. They are about to touch hands, but she pulls away. Now, the next day, the farm is overwhelmed with people. The news story in the morning about the town council, about how they're trying to save the farm, has brought people far and wide from hundreds of miles away that read this local newspaper story about a farm that doesn't want to be repossessed. People from New York City, people from Kansas show up. They drive all the way to Vermont the next day to buy trees from a farm that's about to be closed. Molly's boss randomly shows up. He and his kids hated the Bahamas. They didn't want sand. They wanted a real Christmas, and they knew that she had snuck away and came up to Vermont. So he brings up his family, which is perfect because he can have her babysit his kids while he conducts business, especially with the fact that she abandoned New York, and so now he has to take over finishing that big business deal. During an argument between Lucas and his dad about Molly ruining their plan, A wall calendar will appear, disappear, reappear, disappear, reappear. It happens like 6 times. I think it's some sort of ghost is playing a trick on them. Also, it says the month of March, which is either when they filmed it or possibly when the ghost died. Molly and Lucas eventually take a hike because he is going to repossess their house, and he wants to take pictures all over the resort where they can put in their ski lifts and all these different things. He tries to flirt with her. He tries to, restart their relationship. He really wishes things hadn't ended so badly between them. But once again, Molly's not feeling it because he's trying to repossess her house. Molly ends up babysitting her boss's kids one night so he can work on the deal, and they end up stealing her short stories and end up bringing it to her boss, who was frankly surprised that his personal assistant was a writer. Even though he had hired her as a writer and forced her into being a personal assistant, he didn't even know she knew how to write. The city council finally votes, and they do vote to save the house. But they vote to save the house and only the house. They've decided to move the house in a cruel twist of fate to Main Street, so it can be a new place for visitors to visit when they're on their way to the hotel and golf course and ski lift. And now that house is gone, so there's one less area to level. Infuriated with his father, Lucas runs in and he ends up quitting his job. He runs over to Molly and he reveals that he regrets not leaving with her. He regrets being on the wrong side of this deal, and he'll do everything he can to help her save her farm. All that really ends up being is helping her sell some trees. But either way, it's not going to be enough money to pay off this loan that's being called. In the end, the family sells all of their Christmas trees to make some money, but not enough to pay off the loan. And they end up retiring to the house, deciding that, well, this is it. This is our final Christmas. Molly, her brother, Lucas, her parents, her boss, and her boss's kids all plan on celebrating one final Christmas Eve together. Except her boss hands her a letter. And in the letter is a present, and it says that her boss and the townsfolk paid off the loan as a surprise that day. So now the family owns the farm, and they're not going to lose the farm. Unfortunately for the town, that hotel was going to bring 400 sustainable jobs. So Main Street will remain dark. They won't have their museum, but they will have their Christmas tree farm with 800 acres of Christmas trees if anyone wants to come by one time a year and buy a Christmas tree. Molly's boss walks up to her and fires her from being an assistant, only to immediately rehire her as a short story writer because he loved her short stories that his daughter stole from her. Flash forward a year, and Molly has written her first book of short stories, and she's reading it to kids at a local library. And the first short story that she's reading to them is about a tree that brought her family together. It truly was the tree that saved Christmas. And now I have seen it, so you don't have to. Thank you for watching my video. Like, subscribe, and share, and have a great day.